Hey everyone, it's June 1st, and that means that if today's your birthday, you share with famed serial killer David Berkowitz, known as the Son of Sam, who murdered 6 victims in New York in 1976 and 77, and that is him right up there. Born Richard David Falco in 1953, he was given up for adoption and taken in by the Berkowitz family at the age of 2 weeks. When he was 7, he was hit by a car and suffered a head injury, and multiple times in his childhood he saw people die in car and bus accidents. Though known as a smart child, he lost interest in learning at an early age and began engaging in petty larceny and starting fires at the age of 11, saying that monsters were bothering him and the fires were one way to get them to stop. Often teased by his classmates, Berkowitz didn't have many friends and had a bar mitzvah with no guests. He began to torture and kill small animals as a teen, including his mother's pet parakeet. After his mother died of breast cancer when he was 14, his relationship with his father deteriorated and he left to join the army in 1971, serving in South Korea and Kentucky until 1974. He continued to set fires, keeping a journal documenting over 1,400 of them by the age of 22, when he started to hear neighborhood dogs talking to him. When he was honorably discharged from the army, Berkowitz sought out his birth mother, but had just a few meetings with her, becoming distraught at being unwanted as a baby. Meeting with his mother seemed to send him over the edge, as he stabbed 2 young women on Christmas Eve in 1975. Both survived, and he wasn't identified as a suspect and soon moved to a new apartment. He subsequently found work for the U.S. Postal Service in 1976 and tried to kill the dog next door with a Molotov cocktail, but failed. Berkowitz was successful in purchasing a large number of firearms, however, building up a small stockpile he soon would use to terrorize New York. In the summer of 1976, a series of shootings occurred, with initial reporting dubbing Berkowitz the .44 caliber killer due to his weapon of choice. He would approach people in parked cars or walking down the street and open fire. 6 persons were shot in 1976, with 2 dying, and in 1977 the shootings continued. A task force of 300 officers was assigned to the case, who determined that the killer had a vendetta against women, likely due to constant rejection. That summer, a letter was left near one set of victims that read in part, "I am deeply hurt by you calling me a wee man hater. I am not, but I am a monster. I am the Son of Sam." It went on to threaten that the killings would continue, and psychiatrists determined that the author likely suffered from paranoid schizophrenia. More victims were found, and another letter was sent to the press, reading in part, "Hello from the gutters of NYC, which are filled with dog manure, vomit, stale wine, urine, and blood." The shootings continued until a parking ticket given to a vehicle near one shooting was connected to Berkowitz. He was arrested and greeted the police with, "What took you so long?" Berkowitz confessed to the crimes, telling them that Sam was his former neighbor and that Sam's dog Harvey was possessed by an ancient demon who commanded him to kill. Convicted of 6 murders, he was sentenced to life in prison, at which point he claimed to have been part of a satanic cult that was involved in killing dozens, sacrificing animals, and running a child pornography ring, though there is no evidence that such a cult ever existed. Berkowitz has repeatedly been denied parole and is now a born-again Christian in the prison ministry, counseling other inmates. And Spike Lee made a terrific movie called Summer of Sam you should all go watch. And to David Berkowitz I say, happy birthday, you bastard.